Many official documents and forms are created with security features that prevent them from being tampered with as a necessary step to prevent things like fraud and misuse. In particular, many of the court forms we use on a daily basis have these security features enabled. Are these features necessary? Absolutely. However, they also create a roadblock for using them with document automation tools like Gavel. Luckily, Gavel has given us a workaround to bypass these security features in order to automate these documents. First, let's take a look at how to determine if the document we're using has these security features enabled. Open the document with your PDF reader. I'm using a very basic family law court form from the California State Court System for this video. Also for this demonstration, we're using Adobe Acrobat Pro. So be aware that if you're using a different reader, you may see different menus. From the main menu, we're going to select Protection and Security Properties. We can see that several security features have been enabled on this form that will prevent it from being used fully for document automation. Let's take a look at what happens if I try to add automated data to this document. I prepared a workflow in Gavel that will ask some basic questions to fill out the top of this form. Now that I've filled out the form, let's see what happens when I run the document automation. If we look at the completed form in our browser, it looks like the information has outputted as expected. This is a little deceiving, however. If we download and view the completed form instead, we'll see that the variables have not, in fact, been passed through the form. This is because of the security features enabled on this form that have prevented the completed version that we downloaded from being changed in its finalized format. To get around these security features, Gavel has provided us with a feature called the PDF Unlocker tool that will suppress them so that the document can be used for automation. Before we move on to that step, however, let's first talk about acceptable use for this tool. The acceptable uses of the PDF Unlocker tool include only unlocking a document for the intended use of inputting variables into from a Gavel workflow into a court form for document automation. Unacceptable uses would include essentially anything else in this case, such as particularly making changes to the text of the form or other intentional modifications to official forms or documents outside of the context of document automation. Remember to review the acceptable use policy for official documents and forms from the entity providing the forms that you're using before using this Unlocker tool. Now that we've reviewed acceptable use, let's take a look at how the Unlocker tool works. From the main screen, we're going to select or drop in the PDF that we want to unlock. Remember to use the original version of the document and not one that you've modified. Next, we'll check this box, ensuring that we have the right to unlock this document. And then click on Unlock and Rename Fields. On the next screen, we can see the PDF has been unlocked for use. This screen also contains another very helpful feature that will allow us to change the underlying field names in the PDF to match our variables in the workflow. This will make it a snap to tag the document in the Gavel PDF tagger. In this case, I'm just going to tag the variables I've used to output to this form for our demonstration here. In this case, I've only changed the names of the fields that are going to be used in our example PDF form, and I've left the remaining field names as they are. When complete, press the Finish and Download button. This will download this version of the document for use. And now that it's downloaded, we're going to want to provide a new file name that is different than the original file name so we know which version to use. Now that our PDF is unlocked and ready to use, let's add it to our workflow. We're going to use the Replace feature here under our Document Templates menu to replace the original version with the updated version. And then let's not forget to save the changes that we've made here. Okay, now that our PDF is unlocked and ready to use, let's give it a try. I'm going to fill out the workflow like I usually would here. And finally, we're going to download the resulting PDF. As you can see, all the variables we've supplied are now outputting to the form in its finalized and unlocked state, unlike the previous version. I hope you found this video useful. We'll provide a link to the PDF Unlocker tool in the description. As a final reminder, make sure to check the document use policy for the organization supplying the documents you want to unlock prior to using this tool. Thank you for your attention, and happy automating.